Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, to the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as were the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalia, and this video is on the Mark of the Beast prophecy, which is a microchip. Alright, so you have this video here, which is posted by this channel, and it is on the digital identification system, which this digital identification system has been a topic that those of us that believe and have the spirit of knowing that the mark of the beast is the microchip, we've been going into this because when you look at this digital identification system, it is the obvious precursor to the microchip, because we know the prophecy in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." So you won't be able to buy or sell, which means that you won't be able to participate in society. And when it is that the World Economic Forum came out with this digital identity, which we can see here, it shows you that everything about your life is intended to be stored onto this digital identification system. And knowing that the microchip is the mark of the beast, and knowing how it operates, because there are literally individuals who are already microchipped and already using it to make payments, to open doors, all kinds of things, from the US to the UK to Europe, and I'm sure other places around the world, right? It is showing us exactly what the prophecy is. The prophecy is literally crying out onto the world, right? And of course, as time goes on, things are revealed more and more over time. As you can see, the digital identity is just going to include everything about you, yourself, and your entire life. And it's going to be by way of biometric identification and everything. And this is where the world is heading towards. This is the plans of the Edomites, these so-called white people who rule this wicked kingdom today. Their ruling class, the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, this is a part of their NWO agenda. They want an entire world. Their vision is the world being this entire system based off of technology, where people are merged with technology, and they merge with the technology by being microchipped, and then they seamlessly go around, the cities and life, interacting with the technology, being merged with technology. And that's why this digital identity mentions people, things, entities, and devices. This is their plan. So I'm going to play this video and you can watch it yourself. I'm not going to play the full 24 minutes, but I'm just going to play a portion of it just to get some further understanding as to what is occurring beyond, just my own explanation. Okay, so let's go.
It takes is a little manipulation to get a lot of these suckers on board. So next up is the digital ID. And this is something they've been harping on at these events for years. Part of why they did the outbreak in 2020 wasn't just about poisoning people. It was about getting people on board with a digital ID. They were trying to get you obsessed with social tracking, right? Remember all of the tracking things, contact tracing, all that stuff? That was about the digital ID. They thought you would get so afraid of the propaganda and the fear that they were putting out that you would want it so that you knew if somebody next to you had it or didn't have it. You'd want to know.
I want to point out this from this image. Look what it says here. From the World Economic Forum, how digital identity can improve lives in a post that situation. So his information is correct.
Where the person next to you was traveling to in case they went somewhere that was a hotbed for the disease. That was part of the hypnosis they were trying to create. It didn't work, but that doesn't mean that they're taking their foot off the pedal for the digital ID, because global enslavement runs through the digital ID. So here he is talking about the digital ID of Tony Blair, who has been an advocate for the digital ID for a long time. I have many videos on the website where Tony Blair is openly, constantly obsessing with the digital ID. In fact, he was one of the people who said we needed a digital passport during the outbreak, and how we would need to know who has it and who doesn't. So who could be allowed to come in places and who couldn't be allowed to come in places like restaurants, etc. And since then, Tony...
As the prophecy says in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And this digital ID is going to be transferred or stored onto the microchip.
Blair has just shifted his propaganda on why we need a digital ID, because they couldn't use that narrative anymore. So he uses the digital ID as something that we need to be able to follow the immigrant crisis. Who's coming in, who's coming out. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has shifted to here in America, to get MAGA on board with a digital passport. Probably be called in America a freedom passport or something ridiculous like that, because that's all it takes for these people to actually get on board with these globalist agendas. Just label it freedom, red, white, and blue. Oh yeah, I'm in on the digital. It's the freedom mark of the beast, right? I'm sure that'll be next. But here he is talking about how passwords will be obsolete. I've talked about this. They've been conditioning you with passkeys. I'm sure you've all noticed it, how hard they're making it for you to log into Gmail or whatever email account you use, websites, etc. They're making it difficult because they want you to give in and use biometrics. They want you to say, okay, what do I have to do here? Well, scan your retina, use your thumbnail, right? At first, when they did that with the cell phone, people were going, I can't believe this. To get into my Apple phone, they want me to use my eyes or my thumb. Now they're like, well, you're using a passcode still? Boy, you're like a caveman. That's how it works. That's how they condition you, right? So the passkey is something that they've been using and annoying people with every time they log in, because they're trying to get you to give in. And eventually you're going to have to, because they're going to remove passwords. They're trying to tell you that it's dangerous to have a password. It's hackable. You've heard the propaganda about your ID being stolen and all of this stuff, people pretending to be you, because passwords are so easily hackable. The only one hacking anyone's passwords is your own government. That's it. They're the only ones doing it. And they're creating psyops around it, telling you that these boogeymen hiding out in Russian factories, are hacking people's, AT&T phones and all these other things to make you guys scared, make everybody scared, so they give into biometrics and they tell you that you can't be hacked via biometrics. So here he is talking about biometrics and a digital ID being needed moving forward with AI governance.
And when you come to government and what government's doing, there are artificial intelligence tools, and some of them I know that Oracle have developed around financial management for government. But also, tell us a bit about because you're right at the forefront of this revolution, what it means for what government should do in terms of its digital infrastructure, digital ID, data centers, and so on. I mean, we're here in the UAE, which is really at the forefront of the use of AI in government. One of the things that people often ask from developing countries, but also developed countries, is, well, what's the importance of having that basic digital infrastructure in place? Cloud services, the data centers, digital identity. How important are these things to put in place so that the rest of the system works effectively?
Well, I think one of the most important things is not to put the digital infrastructure in place and make sure it is secure. And often it needs to be sovereign. So I think countries are very uncomfortable.
All right, so I just want you to take notice of this. Trump's AI push, understanding the $500 billion Stargate initiative. This individual who is pushing the digital identity, as was previously stated by the individual who made this video, right, was standing up there with Trump, a part of this whole artificial intelligence $500 billion Stargate initiative thing. This devil is moving very quickly, man. This devil is moving very quickly. This is all being done just so that they can launch that microchip. because they have to implement the systems to be able to facilitate its usage on the mass scale that is going to be, as a prophecy says, it says he causeth all. Okay.
With keeping their data in other countries' data centers. So I think part of our essential infrastructure, just like airports obviously need to be in our country, or they're not terribly useful. Ports need to be in our country, and they're not terribly useful. Data centers, because of the privacy requirements around the data, need to be in our countries, or they're not terribly useful. They need to be in our countries, but they also need to be secure. And there are new technologies right now. This is the last year you will ever log on to an Oracle system with a password. Next, by the middle of this year, I'm quite certain you are.
You heard that? Whatever that Oracle system is, right? Which I tried Googling it to see like how many things are involved with it. But all that comes up from Oracle system is Engineered Systems Oracle, right? Which deals with information technology and stuff like that. And he says that by the middle of the year. So that's moving quite quickly.
Tony Blair. And so how do I know? Well, I look at you, I hear your voice, I listen to the kind of questions you ask. I'm pretty sure you're not synthetically created in having this conversation. The security system, we have biometric logins. The computer recognizes you. It recognizes your voice. It might ask you to put your index finger on the return key. And we're absolutely certain it's you. There's no reason to enter a password. In fact, passwords are too easily stolen. Data centers and data is being taken hostage all over the world. The ransomware business is a very, very good business. It's getting bigger and better every year. We tend not to talk about it because the American FBI has a simple advice to someone whose data has been ransomed. Just pay them because there's nothing we can do about it. But there is something we can do about it, not after the data is stolen. But before the data is stolen, we can make sure that we're using the latest security technology, and it is going to be biometrics assisted by AI to make sure that you are in fact Tony Blair, and I'm sure you are.
So, of course, that is just an utter control system nightmare. That's what they're trying to bring about, this digital ID. People think, well, what's the big deal? I shop online. What's different between having a license and a digital ID? Oh, it's a big difference. It's a big, big difference because everything is tied into the digital ID. Your license is just your license, just like your passport is just your passport. You probably rarely have to use your license in your day-to-day life. Anyway, your digital ID will be everything. Tracking and monitoring your carbon footprint, most importantly, which means tracking and monitoring your every move and your every purchase in the name of the climate, but really in the name of personal enslavement.
You heard what he said, in the name of the climate, because climate change is one of those, how to say it, one of those narratives that Esau Edom has put out there to the world, which the veracity of it can truly be unquestioned without a doubt, to put it that kind of way. All right, if you read between the lines, you know exactly what I'm saying. But they're going to use that idea of climate change to their own advantage. And I've been holding on to this article for a hot minute now. You know, the Spirit told me to hold on to it. And so look at that. Now is the perfect time to bring it out. From Natural News, absurd. United Nations calls for widespread adoption of digital ID systems to combat climate change. Right? You know, this Mark of the Beast prophecy, you know, there are parts within the scripture that say that he deceived them that received it. And Esau Edom is going to be deceiving the world into taking the microchip. And a part of their deception is this whole climate change situation. Because, you know, a part of their motto is order out of chaos. So they're going to be bringing about certain kinds of chaos to bring about their order. And Yahweh Shemishai has gifted them with all kinds of technology and all kind of power while they are in their rulership. And they're going to be using those devices to bring about these kinds of things, just like how what was shown with the situation that occurred in California at the beginning of this year, where it was exposed on social media that Esau Edom does in fact have certain technology where they can create certain things. Okay, so this is all in the works, man, and you can watch the rest of the video as it is here, the person speaking on it. And yeah, man, the time is just at hand. In the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And it's not tarrying anymore. All right, the prophecy is literally in front of our eyes. And when you measure the time diligently, as the scriptures say we are to do, you can clearly see that we're heading very close to mandatory microchipping. They're setting it all up and they're moving very fast, right? The scriptures say that the devil knoweth that he hath but a short time, so he's going to be coming through with great wrath. He's going to be implementing all of his systems at record break speed. They have already spoken about that this new intelligence age, fourth industrial revolution, or however they want to rename it or rebrand it, is going to hit like a tsunami. So it's all in the works, man. And you know, for you people, man, you Israelites that don't believe, it is what it is. As the scriptures say, let the multitude perish then which were born in vain. So, you know, the warning will only be received by the elect of the nation of Israel, as salvation is only for the Israelites, for us. But as well, only a remnant will be saved, which is the elect of the nation of Israel. And there is a judgment for taking the microchip. In Revelation chapter 14, verse 9 to 10, it talks about that judgment, that you will be destroyed if you take the mark of the beast, which is that microchip. And that is a warning that has been sent unto you Israelites from Yahweh Shemishai. And the time is coming, man. Y'all can scoff and scorn as much as you want to. And all of these kinds of things talking about, oh, y'all been talking about this since for like 20 plus years or whatever the situation is. Well, Noah was prophesying for a good while as well. And then the flood came. So yeah, man, it's coming. And this is going to be the second death. America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. And those of you in America that take the microchip, you're going to be destroyed. Y'all are of that 2/3. Spoken about in Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. But it's all going to happen, man. In Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 33, it says, And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. And this is the mercy sent to you people from Yahweh Shemishai, that the prophets are risen by the will and power of Yahweh Shemishai and deliver the word unto you. And Yahweh Shemishai has always done this throughout our entire history, sending the prophets to warn you of the things that are to come. So this is just what it is, man. It's very close. With that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, Bashim Kodesh. Shalom.